It's been over a year since we got this truck from the auction. We have operated it for almost a full year. You guys want to know how it performed? Let's talk about it.
Never at ease, I don't know a limit. Chasing a dream, I don't know what sleepers. I got a queen, she lit me the evening. She ripe like a peach and she snapped me the snippet. I'm well overdue for that link up in person. Text me to fall through its murder, she wrote it. Still up with courage, you're doing a service. Pull up to the crib, I'm equipped with the brush strokes. Cutthroat from the low, where no love goes. Women buddy like it's been that. Wanna fuck me looking at the bill stack off the bubble.
Let me start off by saying that this video only consists of what we have done to the trucks so far as maintenance. As you heard from the intro, this truck we got from the auction. We got this in early or late 2023. I believe November or December, or beginning of December, something like that, right? We got it for 32,000. No. We got it for 30,500, and out the door it was 32,000. $1,500 fee from the auction. When I flew into Fort Wayne, Indiana to pick up this truck from the auction, the first time, my first impression, believe it or not, was amazing. I saw the truck, I fell in love with it right away. And that's probably one of the reasons why I bid on it to begin with. Okay, so let me tell you how I ended up bidding on it, okay? It was mostly peer pressure, okay? So I'm looking around on Truck Paper, and I see a link that's saying live auction now, right? And then I clicked the link, and then I looked up what's being auctioned off, and then I saw a couple of trucks, right? There was 3 of these that were being sold at that auction at that moment. What is wrong with these roads in Louisville? Anyway, there was 3 of these trucks, okay? And this was the last one. The first one sold for almost 32, and the second one, I think about that price range, around 30,000, right? And then this one was coming up next. So I was like, okay, let me go watch it. I looked at it, and nobody bidding on it. You know, they started it off at 30,000. Nobody bid on it. 2 minutes later, nobody's bidding on it. I said, wow, what's going on here? Okay. And then they dropped it to 29.5. Nobody's bidding on it. And then I was like, okay. They dropped it to 29 and nobody's bidding on it. And I said, okay, let me put a bid on that for 29. Why? Because I was looking at the pictures at the same time. These pictures look good. Mind you, I haven't done research or deeper into the pictures before I made the bid on this. It just looks so good, you know? The pictures, outside pictures look so good. So I put a bid on it for 29,000, and then somebody else put a bid on it for 29.5. I believe, if you're asking me, I believe the price on these were set at 30,000. And those people that are bidding are just trying to bring it up to the 30,000 mark. And maybe they were hoping to get more than 30,000, but their price set at 30,000. So anyway, somebody bid on it for 29.5, and then I bid 30, and then it stayed at 30, stayed at 30, stayed at 30, stayed at 30, and then it stayed at 30 even more. And I was like, okay, we're probably gonna get it at 30. And then it went to 32.50, right? 32.50. And then I was like, oh man. And then next thing you know, it went to 3,500, right? That was me. I did 3,500, and that was it. The auction ended right there. That's one of the reasons why I think these trucks, these 3 trucks, were set at 30,000 range, you know, at the auction. That's why I don't think it was ever gonna sell at 29, you know, where they set it. Okay. Anyway, back onto my first impression of the truck. The truck was amazing. immaculate condition. Everything was clean, you know what I mean? It was spotless on the inside and the outside, which after I got the truck home, I started thinking about that. And I thought about it quite a bit, and I was like, you know, I believe I got set up. The reason why I was saying that is as I get the truck home, I was having buyer's remorse. I mean, if you were watching the videos on the beginning of last year, you know what I mean? That's when we started fixing the truck. You could probably tell that I was having a little bit of buyer's remorse. The reason for that is that I was having such a headache in getting this truck prepped and ready to go for the road. The truck was full of rust. That's number one. A lot of broken bolts. Um, the the hub was destroyed beyond repair, and the U-bolts and the shackles, everything was like, you know what I mean? It's like nothing was right with the truck. And then I was really talking really bad about who had the truck previously. I don't even know who they are, but I was talking about their maintenance because of the fact that one of their those uh, U-bolt towers, right? Those U-bolt towers are mismatched. One was 1 inch shorter than the other. They have three different models on those U-bolt towers. I think that's what they call them, U-bolt towers. But they were mismatched. One was a dash 70, and then the other one was a dash 60. So I was like, oh man, these people, whoever did the maintenance on this, they were terrible at it. That's why I was really talking bad about it. I was saying, I was saying it wasn't taken care of and things like that. That's probably why I was feeling a little bit of a buyer's remorse because of that reason, right? So after fixing the truck for about a month, doing things, buying parts, fixing the truck, buying parts, fixing the truck, it took about a month. I would say about 20 hours of, labor hours. So we finally got the truck to an acceptable condition. I mean, like road ready, acceptable condition, right? We got the truck registered. We got everything figured out. Got everything restarted back up, authority and everything. And this was around towards the end of January. Truck is ready to go. We started doing power only and things like that. And by May, we picked up a trailer, which is the trailer that we're hauling now, a step deck trailer. By May, the truck gave us an issue once again, and it was a major one this time. It was the camshaft, okay? The camshaft, the lobes got eaten up by the rockers, or the other way around maybe. But anyway, either way, they were damaged, the rockers and one of the cam lobes. So we had to do a cam job, right? So I called around for quotes on how much this job would be. 3 dealerships, one in Oklahoma, 2 in Arizona, gave me a quote of around $12,000. One in Oklahoma was actually $15,000. $12,000. I said, man, that's a lot, because I look up the part, right? The part itself from Kenworth was almost $3,000. But when you buy it from PDI, which is Performance Diesel, right, out of St. George, Utah, it's showing $1,900 and shipped $2,200. So I said, you know what, man, we're gonna go in that route since we're gonna do the work anyway. And plus, I read the reviews on that camshaft. There was nothing but good about that camshaft. Everybody's talking good about it. So we went with that camshaft. We fixed it, and thankfully, my friend Vic, man, I tell you, I couldn't be thankful enough for my friend Vic. I don't know where I would be trucking wise today if it wasn't for Vic. Okay? So we fixed it at his doggone thing, and we made like a makeshift freaking overhang to pick up the doggone radiator and things like that, and we got it done. So with all of that, from doing the cam and everything that we have spent on the truck so far to get it prepped, get all the shocks, things ready, was around $4,000. Okay, that's including the APU. We did work on the APU. We did significant work on the APU, and then the camshaft, along with the radiator and along with a lot of little things, that was another $4,000. So with all of that, that's about $8,000, right? And we have done a total of 6 oil changes on it, and that's 2,700. So that's 10,700. Okay. Now there's also things that we've done like inlet knock sensor, right? That's $400. So now we're looking at 10,000 or 11,100, right? So there's also things that we've done like 2 alignments to it. That's a total of $800. So that's another 11,000. So that's a total of 11,900. Okay, and also I'm going to go ahead and add this thing on there because this is the PDI, right? The PDI performance, right? Tuner. I'm going to go ahead and add that thing on there because that's part of the maintenance. I still got to do a review on that. But anyway, that's another $1,800. So that's where we at? 11,900 plus 1,800. So 12,900 plus 800 is 13,700, right? So we're at 13,700 when it comes to maintenance. You know what? Let's just call it, with all the little things that I've been doing to it, let's go ahead and call it 14. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and just be gracious about it and do 15. So $15,000 maintenance from front to back of this vehicle in a whole year. Now you're probably wondering, hey, what about tires? As a matter of fact, believe it or not, those are the original tires that it came with. And we have put in a total of 82,000 miles on it last year. From the time that we picked it up from the auction, we did 82,000 miles on this truck, okay? Until now, and look at these tires, plenty of rubber on them. Have you done any brakes? Absolutely not. Have you done anything else? We've done 1 airbag, right? That's already included in what I talked about in all the price. So we have another airbag. Oh, I didn't add that one in. So we'll just go ahead and add another $100 to that. So 15,100, right? But you know what? Actually, we're just gonna keep it at 15,000 because that's there's a lot of little things that I've done to it, like a little bit of lights, a little bit of electrical, and things like that. But that doesn't add up to $1,300 from our original of 13,700. So we'll just go ahead and do that, right? But let me get back onto the tire. On the tire itself, man, the reason why we were able to save or utilize these tires as much as we can. As a matter of fact, I need to move these ones to there and move those ones to here. Just do a rotation. But anyway, the reason why I'm able to save these tires is specifically the drives, okay? It's because of alignment, man. You gotta make sure you do your alignment. The steers, however, got damaged, okay? The right front one got a little bit of damage to it. That's because of alignment. With our second alignment, it was actually pushing a little bit to the right. Our second alignment, the inner axle was off a little, so they just only had to adjust it a little bit. That's why it was discounted somewhat, our alignment. So it was this one right here that it needed to like shift just a little this way. That's all. So now it's no longer pushing, but the damage is already done onto the steer axle that eventually we're probably going to be changing these. I mean, I'm happy with it. I think if I get 150,000 miles on these steers, I'll be happy. Right now, we're about 90,000. They still look good, but I'll be happy at 150,000 because steers are usually always the ones first to go out because they take the most beating. You're probably wondering, okay, what does that amount to when it comes to numbers, right? I promise I'm going to do another video of the numbers, breakdown line by line, okay? Guesstimation right before I shut down last year, okay, right before we shut down and went home to take a break for the rest of the year, was we were averaging $2.40 a mile on all the miles. So if you figure we ran 82,000 miles total last year, how much is that? Where's my phone? That's $196,000 gross, okay? That's gross. Remember that. This truck averages throughout last year, averaging about 6.6 on the MPG. So if you average that, like I said, I'm not trying to go in depth with the numbers, okay? I'm trying to stay away from going way too in depth with the numbers, okay? So if you average 82,000, just out of just for now, let's say 6.6 divided by 6.6 is 12,000 gallons. Time is let's go at 320 per gallon. That's 39,000 on the fuel, okay? Minus 15,000 and plus 15,000 plus 15,000. So that's where we are as far as how we did last year, and then everything else, like as far as like, operational costs, insurance, of course, minus 20,000, you know what I mean, plus 20,000. Um, Let me see, it was actually like 19 something, but we'll just call it 20,000. And then your other licenses, you know what I'm saying, registration and all of these other things. So that's why at the middle of the year, I was figuring out we're barely gonna break about 100K, and look at that, we're getting close to that 100K mark, Like it's still good, but at the same time, man, trust me, it's not that great. You have to, it's it's a lot, man. It's a lot. I think we didn't run enough. That's number one, right? But oh, okay. I don't want to go too deep into that. Basically, the topic of this video is that how did this truck perform? I believe it or not, man. A lot of people talk smack about the Cummins, right? About emission in general. And there's some people that dislikes Cummins. There's some people that dislike Detroit. There's some people that dislike Volvo and all of these other things. Remember, listen, guys. If you do the maintenance that is recommended by the factory, now I don't agree with their oil changes, okay? Like PACCAR, what is it, 60,000 miles or something like that? I don't agree with 60,000. No shot, man. No shot you do your oil changes every 60,000, okay? But if you do your oil changes, like old school people, right? Most of your old school, they're gonna go from 12,000 to 15,000. That's when they're changing their oil changes, or they're doing their oil changes. That's what we're doing, is the range from 12,000 to 15,000. Okay, whichever comes first. I mean, whichever most convenient, but we don't go too far off 15,000. I'm very impressed the way this truck has performed for us so far. You know, compared to the Freightliner that we had before when we first started the channel, right? That Freightliner gave us a lot of emission issue. This one right here in particular, emission is so minimal with this one, and knock on leather, knock on, I don't know if that's real leather, knock on, rubber, plastic, or leather, that it doesn't get worse. You know what I mean? I hope I didn't just jinx myself. But overall, the truck has performed very well. I'm very happy with it. But you have to think about it though. It didn't perform like that because we just neglected it. You know what I mean? See, the thing is, you gotta do your maintenance, man. You gotta do the little things. You know what I'm saying? Like you're greasing your truck. You know what I mean? Making sure you get your proper oil changes. Making sure you're doing your pre-trip. Just looking at things that out of order that would possibly, cripple your truck. Something so small like a little zip tie being broken could cripple your truck. What do I mean by that? Because like you got a lot of vibration going down the road with this truck, okay? Now, if that zip tie is no longer keeping, let's say, an air hose tight, okay, or intact, and it's vibrating the whole way, it's gonna freaking bust on you. And then next thing you know, you're losing air. Next thing you know, if that was a critical airline, let's say something for the brake chamber, you know what I mean? It's just a lot of these things, man, that adds up, and these are some of the things I'm talking about. It's like, it's not because uh the freaking truck is well put together, which it is, right? But also, you have to give credit where credit is due, is that I have a background in this, you know what I mean? And I feel like I have that's an advantage that I have over a lot of people. I mean, it's not advantage, right? Because it keeps me uh it keeps me ahead, right? Keeps me prevent me from spending thousands and thousands of dollars in shop hours. Okay, so like if you count the way, if let's say I spent $12,000 to do a camshaft, right? And then also the radiator was not included in there. Okay, and then we did uh, let's say the 19 hours of doing all the repairs. Okay, that would be probably around 20 to 30 thousand dollars just in repair right there. So that's something to consider, right? I mean, just shop hours. Shop hours is very expensive. So yeah, I'm very fortunate and thankful for that. It's just that, but it's not, like I said, it's not by accident. Like you can have like a second gen freaking T680, pull it off the lot, and I guarantee you're gonna have some issues with it. You know what I mean? And I guarantee you're gonna continue to have issues with it if you don't take care of it. It's all about taking care of your equipment. So we're gonna end the video there. I am happy the way this truck has performed and the way this truck has turned out. But at the same time, like I said, you cannot dispute the fact that it's not all just the truck itself. It's all on the individual itself as well. So anyway, we will see y'all in the next video.